Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to be discussing the difference between the drive and desire in Lacan's work. So, we're going to begin starting with Freud. So, what did Freud think the drive was? Well, Freud conceived of the drive as the death drive and the pleasure principle. The death drive came later in 1919, but we're going to go with his later work, right? So Freud conceived of the drive as two different drives, death drive, pleasure principle, but they did not intersect. There were two different drives, two different push and pulls, yin and yangs on a subject. Now, Freud believed that the Ziel in German, or the aim of the drive, is constant, right? The aim of the drive of pleasure principle is happiness. Aim of the drive of death drive is the self-destruction of man. Now, then there is the object of the drive. Now, the object of the drive is multiple. The object of the drive is constantly changing. Our happiness, the way we would put our happiness into something, or when the death drive takes over and we enter this period of repetition, this is how the drive manifests itself in Freud. Now, we're going to go to Lacan. So what does Lacan say about this? Well, Lacan, in I believe it is Seminar 10, he foments his sort of main theory on the drive and stuff. So he collapses the distinction between two different drives, and he says that all drives are partial drives. Now, what does this mean? This means all drives, all particular representations of desire towards an object, are not full. That there is no complete circuit of the drive, because the drive breaks at the moment of not realizing desire. So, now we've talked about what the drive is in Lacan. I'm going to go into what desire is, and we'll go back to the drive to make it make more sense. So, for those familiar with Lacan, you've probably heard quotes like "man's desire is desire of the other." You hear things like "desire desires for nothing but desire itself." This basically means that desire functions on a metonymous slippage, a word Lacan uses. Metonymy is the slipping, again, and the production of meaning. So as desire shifts from object to object, this institutes a slippage between each object as desire changes, but desire itself remains, right? The desire is directed towards each object in the formation of a drive. Again, the drive is a particular representation of desire, but desire as a singular remains. Because of this, we can now go back to that sort of definition from Freud, where we said that the aim of the drive is constant and the object is multiple. So what Lacan takes from this is the aim, or the Ziel of the drive, is the desire. Because desire is constant. It is singular, right? Because desire plays itself out in the manifestation of the drives, but it still remains singular. It's there. There's just desire. This eternal, this never-ending, this never-ending just emptiness, this lack, this loss. But the object of the drive in Freud is what Lacan sees as the drive in his work. So Freud has, again, the drive. There's the aim, the constant, and the object, the multiple. Lacan takes the drive from Freud. He collapses the distinction between the death drive and pleasure principle into a singular drive, which is partial. And this drive has its object, again, as the drive for Lacan. It's confusing what Lacan does here, but he takes the object, again, the object of Freud's drive becomes just the drive for Lacan, the particular representation of desire towards an object. So the drive, the partial function of the drive often manifests in society in the sense of sacrifice. Now, what is sacrifice? Sacrifice is basically giving something up for an exchange of something else. And in psychoanalysis, sacrifice is never this complete just giving something up for nothing in return. There's always an exchange function with it. Now, this would be an understanding of how enjoyment functions in society, because Enjoyment largely functions off of sacrifice, the sacrifice that we make towards things like sports teams, following sports teams. If you were to be told about a sports team and their record, and you didn't follow the sports team, you haven't sacrificed the time and the money often, you wouldn't really care, right? This doesn't really matter. But when you hear about the record of a sports team you do follow, and you hear about them doing well, your sacrifice paid off. And since you receive enjoyment from that sacrifice, or you receive jouissance through that sacrifice, this is the common understanding of sacrifice and the partiality of the drive for Lacan. If we want to connect this back to Freud, what we can do is we can discuss the idea of in a sense, we can kind of say the sacrifice of the primal father, right? In the primal schema for Freud, you have the primal father killed by the primal horde, and the sacrifice of the primal father by the primal horde institutes the creation of culture and religion and all that stuff. So what we can say is that the sacrifice derives enjoyment on behalf of the primal horde, because then they're able to fix their enjoyment in the sense of having a stable point of reference for how to enjoy. So yeah, it's going to kind of do it for the video. It's very quick. I want to just get through this distinction, which is very commonly mixed up and misunderstood in Lacan, but it's very important to understand his theory of desire and the importance that's different with drive. So anyways, have a nice day, subscribe down below, and like the video.